Hello, guys. Good morning. Grade 8. Today, I would like to discuss with you guys your Term 3 project. Okay. For your Term 3 project, you are required to work in partners. Okay. Yourself and another groups of two. Okay. So you and a partner. And you guys are going to be creating a final project for the play, which is The Miracle Worker. Okay. You're going to create an additional scene to the play. Okay, and I want you to have fun with the project and also, most importantly, to follow instructions. Okay, first of all, I need you and your partner to brainstorm ideas of where you would like to add an additional scene for the miracle worker. Okay, so here I want you to do is I want you to look through the look through them and see if you want to add an additional scene maybe in the beginning of the play, maybe you want to add an additional scene in the middle or even at the end of the play. So you can add an additional scene anywhere in the play, whether it's in the beginning or the middle or the end. This means that it may be a scene that already exists and you want to add on to it. Okay, so it could be, for example, scene one, and you want to add on to it. Okay, or maybe it could be act two that you want to add on to it. So, okay, so this is your choice. As long as you come up with different ideas. Okay, so come up with a list of different ideas and then you can choose one that is suitable and that you both like. Okay, select the idea from your list. Once you brainstorms different ideas, select one. Okay, and find one that is most suitable as an addition to the play. Then you're going to create a graphic organizer to note how your the additional scene that you're going to have or add has to have a beginning and a middle and an end. Okay, it has to introduce the setting. Where are we? Okay, it also needs to include the time, place. You should have a rising action. Okay, how are things becoming difficult? A climax, the most interesting parts in the actual play, and then a falling action where you things are becoming easier, and then finally a resolution. How is the problem in your scene resolved? Okay, so make sure that your scene has to follow the 5 stages of plot. Okay. Once you have your idea planned out, you can start writing your rough draft of your script. Okay. You have to use the same format that's used in the Miracle Worker that we read together. Okay. While you're writing your script, you must use at least 4 characters in your play. Okay, in your script, you have to have 4 characters. These characters are, they could be the ones from the actual play, because if you look at the things to remember, your characters should remain unchanged. You're working with the same characters, okay? Also, when you're discussing your setting, please be reminded that you're in the 1880s. So make sure that your scenes are valid and accurate. Remember, they have a buggy, they have a water pump. All these things are matching with the timing of the play, which is in the 1880s. Do not use technology. Do not use things that were not available during that time. Okay, because it will make your play not credible. Okay, it's not believable. You also need to use stage directions and narration. Remember, stage directions are always italicized and they are also placed in parentheses. Okay, you need to have a cover page. Okay, your cover page must have the title of the play and also the name of your scene, and you must have a cast of characters, and we know that a cast of characters names all the characters that are going to be included in your scene. You need to have at least 5 vocab words in your script from the vocab words that we learned from the miracle worker, and I need you to underline these words in your final draft. Once you finish your script and you edited your script well, you must now create the final draft, which should be typed using Times New Roman 12 font. Okay, again, the font should be Times New Roman 12 font. That means you need to type your final draft and submit it. Your second part of the project with your partner also, you are going to create a poster on a board, and this poster is going to compare and contrast the 2 characters in the play. Okay, it doesn't matter which character you choose. Just consider how the characters are both similar and how they're different. Okay, pay close attention or special consideration to how the characters each display empathy throughout the character. And if you look up the word empathy, you'll see that it means sympathy and compassion. Okay, how do they sympathize with Helen throughout the play? Okay, so if you choose to compare Keller to Annie, it's very obvious how each of them sympathize differently. Okay, we see that, for example, Annie sympathizes more with Helen because she feels bad that Helen is always getting her way and being spoiled constantly deprives her from the opportunity of discipline and learning to be obedient, which is the key for knowledge to enter her mind. Mr. Keller, on the other way, views empathy in a different manner. He sympathizes with his daughter because of her impairment. He considers her handicapped because of her inability to see or speak, or she's mute, deaf, and also, unable to express herself. So as a result, he allows her to do whatever she needs and to give in to her tantrums. Okay, so again, we're comparing personality, we're comparing different aspects where each one is from, their approaches, their the way of thinking, and pay special attention to in your comparison to the empathy, how each character sympathizes with Helen. Okay, and your poster must be colorful. You can use different techniques in comparison. You can use Venn diagrams, charts. You can use any way that you want to compare. Okay, and make sure that it's written neatly if you're going to handwrite it, and also you can make it colorful by providing images and illustrations and so on to make your poster stand out. Okay, I'm going to post a rubric for you guys to understand. So again, your first part of the project is the additional scene. Okay, and your final the second project is to this create this poster, a compare and contrast poster for the characters. Okay, so this is the explanation for your project. Okay, please be reminded that also that you also have a playwright graphic organizer. Here you need to also fill it out and submit it with it. Okay, again, remember you're writing for an audience. Don't forget to include their lingo. Look back at a script. Again, the script must have write the introduction. Okay, again, use line paper to write your script, your rough draft. Okay, again, ask yourself, underline the speaker's name, use a colon after the person that speaks. Okay, when you introduce a new character, we know that we skip a line. Okay, write in columns, like the one that, like, just exactly the same format that you see with all right, so make sure that you're following the instructions that are offered, okay, here. All right, so every time you introduce a new speaker, you have to start a new line, all right? And you need to follow the speaker's name, it has to be bolded, and you need to follow it with a colon, okay? Alrighty, so that being said, for your writing or graphic organizer, all right, the setting in the background, what is the problem and what is the solution? Remember, in the plot, you need here to break down the 5 stages of plot. Any props that you're going to mention in your script, okay, the props are items that you use, okay, like if the water pump, the pitcher, like a piece of cake, that one that they used to teach her how to write cake, water, um, any item mentioned here in the props. All right, so this is your graphic organizer that's also posted on SMS. All right, I need you also to pay attention that tomorrow, inshallah, you guys have a quiz that's going to cover Act 2 and Act 3. Okay, on SMS, I have posted Act 2 review questions. All right, this is a very good review sheet that's going to summarize all the questions that you can possibly have, all right, or need to know. For there are a total of How about here, 17, 18, about 19 questions. Okay, these are very important questions that you need to look into. All right, here, this is also posted on SMS. It's an Act 2 review sheet. Also, if you look on SMS, you will see that there's an Act 3, also Act 3 questions, and you will see that also they're on SMS if you need to go over them. Remember how Act 3 went in, at the it's the final scene for the play. Let's look at the questions together. This is Act 3 study guide. Okay, I'm going to share the screen with you. Act 3 study guide. Of course, here we see Annie and Helen. Annie refers to Helen as a chick coming out of her shell. Okay, because she's finally learning. Okay, James again here he says to Helen, when he talks about Helen, he says that the 2 weeks where Helen was staying in the garden house, he views them as they were peaceful, and they went by very fast, and of course this makes Kate very upset. Okay, again James here, for the first time he talks about how he wonders, or what he really wants to understand, what does his father want from him. He wants to please his father, but he's unable to do so because he doesn't understand what father requires of him. And Kate, he asks Kate to be his friend, and Kate accepts it, and she tells him, basically, she gives him advice that he needs to confront or face his father, and face the world. All right. Again, here, Annie was able to teach Helen 18 noun and 3 verbs. What's wrong with them is that she knows them only by word. Okay, she knows only how to spell them. She cannot tie them with real objects, okay, or real actions. Okay. Annie compares, of course, words to, again, this is the gateway where she could relate things to each other. Okay, what does Annie ask of Captain and Mrs. Keller? Annie wants extra time. Okay, Annie wants extra time. The 2 weeks that she spent in the garden house are not enough, and she asks Mr. Keller for extra time. Okay, when Helen returns to the main house, we see that Helen starts to behave in the same old way. Okay, she doesn't change. All right, she wants to act the same way that she did before, and of course Annie does not accept it. Okay, here, again, Annie wants obedience. Okay, she wants her to be obedient. Captain Keller also offers her her first month's salary, and he tells her that she has gotten, that she did a great job, that Helen was able to do, that basically Annie was able to turn Helen into a good human, by not keep by she's not messy, she's not the same messy unkempt Helen that we saw in Act 1 and 2. Now she's able to carry herself in a better manner. Okay, um, and basically they had the welcome home dinner. Who want to let her get away with her tantrum. Okay. Which family member finally agrees that the right thing is to allow Annie to take over? Of course, here we see that it is James. Okay, James stands up and he tells his father to basically allow Annie to do what's right. Okay, she removes her and she takes her by the water pump, because during that dinner we see that Annie actually picks up the water pitcher and she spills the water all over Annie's dress. Annie insists on taking Helen back to the water pump, where she demands that she fills it back. Okay, what does Helen do next? We see that Helen does something fun. She goes to her mom. She takes the keys from her mom and she gives them to Annie, and she gives Annie a kiss on the cheek. Okay, again, Helen here, while she's at the pump, she does something, which is the miracle. And here she says the words wah wah. Okay, and this is the same terminology that she used when she was 6 months years old. and she said the words wawa. So now we see the miracle here is that she's able to finally associate the water coming from the water pump to the word wawa. So this is the miracle. Of course, the parents are very happy. Okay, and this is the end of our play. Okay, so again, Act 3 study guide is very important to understand the resolution and the final outcome of Act 3. Okay, so today I also another thing that I want to cover with you is the Act 2 vocab that's going to be part of our quiz tomorrow. This is the list of the words, and also the definitions are listed for you at the bottom. Okay, the word proffer means to hold out something or to put something forward for someone's acceptance. Okay, I proffer, for example, apology. Okay, that means I am offering my apology for you to accept it. Impassive, not feeling or showing any attention. Impassive about the party. That means I'm not really excited, or I'm just showing no emotion. Okay, vengeful means someone who is seeking revenge. All right, you want to harm someone in return for what they did. Okay, coming from the idea of revenge. Number four, resolutely. Here again, in an admirable, determined manner. Okay, someone who's determined, someone who does not give up. Five, gibberish. We see that word. We saw that word when we discussed. We were talking about Mildred as baby. Babies, they speak gibberish. That means words that are unintelligible, something that you cannot make out in speech. It doesn't make sense. Okay, number six, indignantly, in a manner showing anger or annoyance at something. Okay, usually because that something is unfair. Okay, you're annoyed at something, like when the teacher punishes the whole class for something that one person did. Okay, the class behaves indignantly. That means you become angry or annoyed because you think that something unfair was done. Number seven, compel means to oblige someone to do something. Okay, to obligate or force someone to do something. Eight is obedience, and obedience, of course, means to submit into someone's authority. Okay, Annie wants obedience from Helen. When Annie says something, she wants Helen to follow it. Okay, to listen to her and to comply, to basically to comply with her orders and requests. Nine, deliberately means to do something on purpose, okay, which is an adverb. And then finally, number 10, which is a flail. A flail is a wooden stick that comes with short, heavy things coming out of it, okay? I'm going to post these words and definitions also so that you guys would know them. Also here, we did a vocab activity here where we matched the definition with images. All right, I'm going to post these images here, and you can also sit by your at home by yourself and to go over each definition and word and see which word or which image would match with the vocab. Okay, so again, please look at Act 2 review and look at Act 3 review and definitions for these words and the pictures to help you revise for tomorrow's quiz. And if you have any questions about the quiz or the vocab or the notes or the project after this explanation, don't feel hesitant to contact me. And thank you.